You ever notice the most important places usually look like absolutely nothing? This is a gravel pull-off next to a private railroad crossing on a road most people accidentally drive down once before immediately turning around. No bathrooms, no benches, no gift shop, no historical marker, just bugs and trains, which honestly tells you exactly what kind of people come here. This is Conpit. Population, me, about a dozen flies, and the other random person driving down the road wondering why there's always someone here filming trains. Conpit sounds less like a railroad junction and more like a disease. Doctor says I've got a bad case of Conpit. You'll want to stay away from grade crossings for 2 weeks. This isn't Horseshoe Curve. This isn't Gallitzin. Nobody's putting this on a tourism brochure. Nobody drives 3 states to visit Conpit unless you're one of us. Railroad maps online look impressive. Mine doesn't. So, here's my version on this extremely accurate, highly technical map. Conway Yard, the big yard for NS here in Western PA. 3 lines a train can take. Trains go over here, and over here, depending on what it's hauling. High and wides, Mon Line. Heavy loaded eastbounders, Conemaugh, where I live and frequent. Everything else, Pittsburgh Line. Congratulations, you now know more than 98% of the population. Before somebody from Pittsburgh leaves a 15-paragraph comment, yes, Shire Oaks Yard exists too. Congratulations, you win. Then, eventually, all trains will come back together right here, which explains why weird people like me park on a single-lane backcountry road waiting for trains. Railroad people love naming control points. CP this, CP that, Conpit, AR, MO, Trobe, PAC. At some point, they stopped naming places and just started making shit up. Pretty soon, they're going to have CP foam. Conpit, though, makes sense. All that is Conemaugh and Pittsburgh married together. Boom. One thing the drone finally let me understand is just how much information is happening all at once. Signal here, signal there, green over here, green over there. Suddenly, the railroad starts looking less like tracks and more like a normal street with traffic lights. And these signals tell me exactly what I was hoping for. Multiple trains are on their way and coming from multiple directions. So get your ass ready because it's about to get real busy real fast. Nearby, there are defect detectors, which, to a normal person, sounds like Microsoft Sam talking nonsense. Remember Microsoft Sam? My Rafflecopter goes, maybe I'm already dating myself too much. Anyways, the defect detector to a Railfan, that's basically our dinner bell. And here at Conpit, it's about your 2-minute warning. Also, apparently, every weird railroad junction in Pennsylvania comes with complimentary insects. Gallitzin had sweat flies. Conpit has whatever these mutant little things were I was dealing with. Didn't get a picture this time. I don't know what species. I just know they all wanted to become one with my face. So here at CP Conpit, in just an hour's time, I got a westbound intermodal, an eastbound intermodal, a westbound manifest, and a special eastbound maintenance of way train. I'm getting every single train that Horseshoe Curve will, but without traveling the extra distance, without spending money on admission, without listening to boomer foamers drone on about camera lenses, and without any bathrooms. So plan accordingly on that one. That westbound stack train really moved. Even in sport mode, my drone couldn't keep up. The eastbound stacks gave me NS 1000, the first SD70 ACE, and according to my source, it has special HTCR-6 trucks. All right. UP foreign power as well. And the crew gave me a blast of the horn. I'm a respectable rail fan. I almost never wave to crews. I'm a 32-year-old man. I'm not looking for any more attention than I've already brought on myself by being here in the first place, and I try not to foam out. So a quick blast of that K5 LLA by the crew didn't cost them a dime, didn't inconvenience them, and they're acknowledging my presence. That is respect right there. Then we get the westbound freight, which again, I'm struggling to keep up with. I'm not used to these kind of speeds. Back in my home territory on the Conemaugh, the maximum speed limit anywhere on the line is a staggering 40 miles an hour. As I'm chasing the westbounder, I see the maintenance of way train stopped ahead, waiting for the green light to proceed. One of the crew members out on the pilot, presumably getting fresh air or debating shooting down my drone, who knows. I think to myself, this will be great. The manifest will finish up, and then I'll chase this one on the way back. Then my drone disconnects, which is not ideal, because now I'm simultaneously trying to reconnect a flying robot while listening to the radio, and now my decision suddenly becomes, do I save $500 worth of drone, or do I film the locomotive? Fortunately, I managed to do both, which means today, everyone wins. In a panic, I'm just trying to get it to return home, so I just grab a few stills of the maintenance way train on the way back. So just use your imagination to pretend this train is moving. After Conpit, I made one more stop, sort of. See, while restoring these old VHS tapes for my latest series, the Conemaugh Chronicles VHS Archives, there was one location that I couldn't identify, really scratched my head on it. So naturally, I became the kind of person who spends an evening time traveling through Google Earth's historical imagery, looking for bridge railings and landmarks, because this is apparently what adulthood looks like now. Then, turns out, I'd actually been looking at the Conemaugh River Bridge near Bolivar, or Bolivar, I don't know, which technically is where the Pittsburgh Line and Conemaugh Line first meet. So, I'm calling it this true Conpit Junction. Will the railroad agree? No. Will you agree? No. Do I care? Also, no. Now, looking at the VHS footage and trying to recreate this shot in present day, I'm about 98% sure that the original cameraman was probably standing somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. But different era, different railroad, different attitude. Nowadays, I'd rather keep my YouTube channel and squeaky clean record than explain myself to Norfolk Southern police. My timing is always impeccable. As I approached this spot, there was a coal drag that was just coming off of that bridge. So any hopes of actually seeing a train move across this has now gone up in smoke. Back at home, the Railfans in the Discord chat said there wasn't anything else coming on the Conemaugh for a while, and I'm not going to sit here on this goat path all day waiting for a 30-second B-roll shot for a video. So, once again, take this still shot I got of the very end of the train and just use your imagination. Oh yeah, And my drone disconnected here, too. There's barely any cell service out here, and I think that was to blame. This drone stuff really isn't for the faint of heart. Places like Conpit don't make sense unless you understand railroads. To everyone else, it's this random crossing where they always see trains going by. Some signals, trees, bugs. That's it. But once you understand what's happening underneath all of it, you realize this isn't just a crossing. It's the moment 3 different railroad lines become one story again. Funny thing is, we spend so much time looking for famous places. Horseshoe Curve, Gallitzin, Crescent. But eventually, every railfan finds their own weird little corner of the railroad. Today, mine happens to be a backcountry road with a private crossing in New Florence, PA, called Conpit. There's no park here. Nobody built an overlook. Nobody even put up a sign. Technically, if you go beyond this crossing, you are a trespasser. Yet, railfans still find it and still visit it. Because eventually, every hobby develops places that only the true nutjob foamers like us understand. And maybe that's part of the fun. Sometimes the best places are the ones nobody bothered to advertise.